All right, welcome back to our channel. I'm so excited to talk to you today about creating value as a listing agent. So today in the marketplace, creating value as a listing agent is your responsibility as a great listing agent. And some of that is a force of average that is being pressured downward. And the force of average is always pushing people down. And you can see that in the professionalism in our industry, the professionalism that they're showing and displaying when they're dressing up for listing presentations or showing property. I mean, in some markets, people are wearing flip-flops and shorts, holes in their jeans and all of this stuff because they want to look cool versus look professional. And I'm okay with some of it. But I think shorts and flip-flops showing property, unless, it is 120 degrees outside in Phoenix sometimes. I understand that part, maybe in Vegas, in Yuma, Arizona, but the flip-flops, put some shoes on. When I was showing property, this is a long time ago, 20 years ago, when I was showing property consistently when I was building my business. I've been in the business for 22 years and I don't show property very often anymore. But when I was showing property in Phoenix, Arizona, I was door knocking in 110 degree heat. And I would wear a button-up shirt. I would wear an undershirt because I knew I was going to be sweating. And I'd wear slacks and nice shoes. I would door knock with that type of clothing on. I would show property with that type of clothing on, even in 110, 120 degree heat. It did not matter because I got in as a young person, a young agent, and I needed the extra credibility to help me get into this business. And so for a lot of people who are out there, that the professionalism, at least in the professional attire, is getting more, or I'd say less professional and more social or going out with friends and stuff. I would ask you to reconsider that if you're starting out in this industry. If you already have clientele, you're probably just totally fine and you're working with your friends and family and they don't really care for the most part, but some of you guys really need to dress more professional. So you're going to create more value on a listing presentation when you are professionally dressed. Audit everything that you're doing, audit what you're driving, audit what you are saying, audit everything about your business if you're trying to get better and create more value to the potential client that you're trying to earn or the current clientele that you're trying to earn their referrals and future trust. Everything that we do that in this business, we are judged for. And unfortunately, we are judged in a negative manner. And so people will remember that. I remember this is, 4 or 5 years ago, I was actually showing property in California. I'm licensed in both states. A lot of you guys know that I work the Phoenix Scottsdale market for the last 22 years and in San Diego, California. And I was showing property in San Diego, California, and somebody was wearing shorts and flip-flops showing property. And it was I'm guessing it was probably one of their friends or family or whatever. But think about the experience in that. The experience that your friends and family keep you in their eyes as a friend or a family member. And they don't look at you the same way as a professional. So if you think about dressing up as a professional and you're taking your friends and family out, now they're going to view you as a professional. And that's what you want. That's how you're going to create more value, especially in the eyes of your friends and family. The next thing I wrote down to share with you is how do you become the authority? This is an important question for you to ask yourself and to work on over the next 30 days. I want you to just audit that and think about, how do I become the authority in my marketplace? How do I become the authority with my sphere of influence in my friends and family? How do I become the authority in my neighborhood, online, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, and all of that? Maybe it is professional dress with video. Maybe it is for delivering strong market stats and being known as the person that has the market stats in their head at any given time they're asked a question. And because you're delivering that in the marketplace. And now we have video, we can share those market stats that way. The other way we can do it with strong verbal skills and communication, body language, and strong words. We can use that with our tonality and our voice. And if you have a strong voice, a powerful voice, and you're delivering, comps and you're sharing that with a seller, that's going to carry a lot of weight with them. That's going to give you instant authority and credibility depending on how you're delivering that. So think about that. Become the authority in your marketplace. The next thing I wrote down is your energy and your enthusiasm. Energy and enthusiasm is so important. It is literally life and death that you're going to get a listing signed or you're not. Because if you just go in there like this as a robot and these are the comps, what do you think about that? It's a different presentation than if you're excited about that. Let me show you the comps and show you what I see here. This one sold for $850,000, and it's because it had a beautiful pool, had the water feature, had a diving board, had fire coming up, versus this property over here had a pool and had some features around it. There's two different presentation styles there. And so when people are delivering that presentation to a seller, especially if you don't know that seller, you have to increase the energy, increase the enthusiasm, and they'll be more excited to work with you and you'll get more contracts signed. And that's the whole point of raising the energy and enthusiasm on a listing presentation so you can get more contracts signed. All right, so the next one, a professional approach. Now, we touched on this with the professional appearance and upgrading what you're doing and how you're presenting yourself. But the approach would be upgrading your marketing material and going on a listing presentation fully dressed, even if it's a friend or family, even if you think you already have the listing, even if you think that you can get away with just wearing shorts and a t-shirt. By you thinking that, and it's not confirmed, they're still judging you. Even if you have the paperwork signed and you got it signed over Zoom or through email or DocuSign or however you're doing things these days, even if you have it signed already, when you pull up to that house and say you're going to meet the photographer over there and the videographer over there at the house, and you're in shorts and flip-flops and you're not presenting yourself in a professional manner, the seller immediately thinks, are they going to present my home in a professional manner? It's a huge, huge observation that I've made over the years that it really does matter. So think about that. The next thing is practicing what you're going to say and how they're potentially going to respond when you say it, and how you're going to present all of the facts, all of the marketing material, and how are you going to explain everything that you do that you're presenting. All of that is creating a strong value proposition, and it's all encompassed with your authority. So think about that. When you're presenting a strong marketing and sales plan for their property, you have to believe it. You have to be confident and deliver that confidence in a manner that they believe it. So that's with energy, enthusiasm. That's with presenting yourself in a professional manner. That's with understanding and knowing the stats online and they're internalized, knowing the scripts and dialogues that are probably going to come out from the conversation that you've practiced before, that are probably going to come out in this conversation that you're having during that listing presentation. And there's a lot of basic things that you're going to talk about. And that is, normally you're fine with handling those objections. And normally people are fine with sharing some of the market. Where we get in trouble as listing agents is we don't share what we're doing on an ongoing basis, on a system or a cadence that is every week or every 2 weeks. I'm going to give you what we've done in the previous week or previous 2 weeks on our sales and marketing plan for your property. And at that time, when I share with you the sales progress that we've made, then I'm also going to share with you my recommendation on price. Having those conversations in a professional manner, being professionally dressed, and having a professional approach really does matter. And it matters so much more today because most sales trainers out there and most brokerages out there are not teaching this. So hopefully you're taking some notes there. I think that sellers feel these days that agents are not necessarily needed. There's a lot of FSBOs going on. They're frustrated if their house didn't sell because the agent didn't market their property or didn't communicate the marketing that they did. We just went over that. They also think that they just need MLS, right? Oh, I just paid this company to put in the MLS, it's gonna sell. My house is the best on the street. All of that is sometimes true. And we have to think about that is sometimes it is true. And those are the stories that spread like wildfire, and the sellers want to believe those stories. And so that's why they're adopted into their language. They're adopted into their business plan on selling their property. This is why FSBOs exist, it's easy. The auction houses are going to, clientele, and this is popular in the commercial world, but they're going to clientele. They're actually going to corporate clientele now. And they're saying, hey, we're going to do the same job as a real estate agent, but we're going to make the buyer pay all the commissions. And you're not going to have to pay anything except for us as a marketing fee in order to put it on our platform, and we're going to get you top dollar for your property. Well, the fact of the matter is they can sell a percentage that way, but they're also not promoting how many deals fall out of escrow. Just like the FSBOs, right? There's going to be like 5% of the FSBOs, the for sale by owners, that actually sell their own house out there. This is a nationwide stat that's been going on for years. Maybe it got up to 11% during the last 5 years with the increasing market on demand. The demand was super high. And so those stats went up on success rates, but it still never was really higher than like 11%. It's so hard to keep a real estate transaction together when you have that much greed going on, when you have a buyer saying, well, I'm not paying a buyer's agent, seller saying, I'm not paying a listing agent, and I'm just gonna work with the other party, the other buyer, however that's gonna go on. And at the end of the day, those transactions get blurred and they get stopped with those objections on, will you lower the price to fix these repairs? That's when the deal starts blowing up. And a lot of people don't go over those stats. When you're delivering the sales plan and the marketing plan, you've got to make the seller feel like they need every piece that you're presenting. You got to create that desire. So if I'm presenting that I am going to use my website and I'm going to set up my marketing campaigns with Google pay-per-click and Facebook advertising to generate leads. And this is a special thing that I do, and I can't tell you my secret sauce because other agents will copy it, but this generates 16 leads per $1,000 I spend. And out of those 16 leads, I would anticipate that 1 or 2 of them are the right buyer for your property, and that's who I'm going to invite into my open house. Therefore, if you don't hire me, you don't get this. That explanation of your marketing is really important. If it's part of the MLS and the seller like, well, I don't think I want to do MLS, I'm just going to put a sign in the yard, it's going to sell. The market's hot. Well, wouldn't you want to fully expose your property to the entire marketplace? Well, that's why we use MLS. That's why we use EXP, the pre-marketing software system. I think it's called Zen with them. And so when you use your company, whatever company you are with, maybe Compass has an internal system, Sotheby's or Coldwell Banker or Keller Williams and all that stuff, maybe you're utilizing that. And that's why you are presenting that piece of the sales and marketing plan. But you've got to get the sellers on your side to say, wow, I really like that. I think I want to hire this agent because they have this tool, or they have these 5 tools, and they have the MLS, right? So think about that. All right, so the next one I want you to go to. A lot of agents are being overwhelmed. You're creating value in the eyes of a seller. They're overwhelmed too, but agents are overwhelmed because they have too many leads, too many different things that they're trying to focus on. Let's say they've got 10 items on their task list for today to market the property, right? Versus prospecting for buyers and sellers. And there's two things that are the most important: prospecting for buyers and sellers. The rest of it can take a back seat. So think about Overwhelm, but now that's an agent point of view. Let's use a seller point of view. The seller, they're overwhelmed because if it's an expired listing, they don't want to make another wrong decision. They already failed. The agent failed them. Their price failed them. Their marketing failed them. All of their hopes and dreams of solving this stressful situation has, crashed and burned. And they're very, very reluctant on hiring another agent that is a salesperson, right? That is going to tell them everything that they want to hear and not follow through. So part of that, the sellers are overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with phone calls for sure. They're overwhelmed with making the wrong decision. And part of that also is because they're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being judged by their neighbors, by their spouse, by their family members, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a real estate agent that they know that they want them to use. So here comes you through the door, excited, professionally dressed. You're saying all the right things, but then you don't explain some of the processes. You don't explain some of the marketing of why it works and why it's going to work for them. And then you don't explain why it's important to hire you today. And they're just overwhelmed. They don't want to make a decision. So I want you to think about that and think about some of the things that I've said here and start adjusting your listing presentations a little bit and see what you can come up with. And maybe you can make 2 or 3 quick changes that are going to be very impactful for you, that are going to be very impactful for your sellers. I also want you to think about, this would be like a Earl Nightingale quote: "We become what we think about most of the time." And what that means is when we want to become a great listing agent, we start to think about ways to become a great listing agent. We start thinking about ways to prospect more. We think about prospecting more often, every day, a time frame. Then we start thinking about our presentation. How can we get better? How come I didn't get this listing? And what did I say that maybe put them off? Or what did I say to get this listing that they were just ecstatic about? Did I build trust? Did I overpromise? And I better deliver on all of those overpromises. I'm fine if you overpromise, but you better deliver on those. Otherwise, you're going to break the trust, right? If you start thinking about becoming a great listing agent, think about every part of the process that you can improve, from the image that you're portraying there and in your marketing and online and in your personal life. All of that is connected, whether you want to admit it or not. It is connected. And if you start thinking about improving every aspect of being a listing agent into a great listing agent, let's just say you're a good listing agent today, or maybe you're brand new and you're watching this channel. I'm giving you years of advice that most people won't share with you. I want to say thank you for coming to my channel. And if you implement some of this, rewatch it again, share it with somebody else, open a dialogue with another agent. I would encourage you to do so with this material, and hopefully you took notes. If not, watch it again, share it with your office. If you have questions for me, I'd love to answer questions for you. So go ahead and DM me or I'll give you my cell phone number. Here you go, 760-473-5435. Feel free to text me, schedule an appointment. Let's talk about your listing business. And this goes nationwide. I have coached and role played with agents in Italy and in Canada, and of course across the United States. If you're out there and you're a good agent and you're wanting to go to great, if you want to create greatness in your business, feel free to text me. And what I would ask for in return is, if you have people move into the Phoenix, Scottsdale area, then definitely use my phone number. If you have people moving to the San Diego area, we handle Temecula, and I've got a couple agents in Orange County as well. Definitely give me a call, give us the opportunity. And I hope you enjoy all of these videos. I'm going to create a ton more, and I'm going to deliver so much value that eventually we're going to become friends, and I'm going to be your referral partner. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.